Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Satish. In our last video, we looked at how to choose a health insurance. What are the things you should look at? In this video, what we look at is how and where to buy the health insurance. Once you know what you want, then now you need to figure out where to buy it, right? Again, this took a lot of time. I had to talk to a lot of people, a lot of companies, right? So I would say, in this video, what I'll go take you, I'll share the details regarding, what are the companies I went after, looked at, what are the approach I took, so that you're able to come up to a reasonably educated decision, right? That's what it is. Without further, let's get started. So the first and most important thing you need to look at when you buy insurance from a company is, are they standalone or are they general insurance? So standalone insurance is something, what it means is that they only offer a specific insurance. For example, Care, Red Care, or another provider that does this, they only do medical insurance or health insurance, they don't do anything else. But unlike a general insurance provider is somebody who does much more than health insurance. For example, HDFC, they do auto insurance, they do health insurance, they do corporate insurance, whatever, all sorts of insurance, be it from travel, all sorts of things, right? So the idea is you need to differentiate between both of these two because this is going to play an impact, in how you choose the insurance, right? So my rationale is that usually general insurance companies tend to sustain in the long run because they can exist in long duration of time. But what happens is when you look at a standalone insurance provider like Care or one of these companies, right? They basically, like Star also is a standalone. They provide better plans than a general insurance provider sometimes, right? In terms of the pricing, in terms of the features, because that's what they only do. But the risk is that if they lose this business, they actually really go down. Unlike if you look at a general insurance provider, if they may lose here, they may gain another one, right? So that's why it's kind of risk mitigation strategy. Again, I went with a general insurance provider just as a risk hedging, right? But it's totally up to you how you want to choose it. I just want to tell you the difference. So the second one is the second important thing, where should you buy it, right? Now there are a few options here. One, you can directly go to their website. Let's say you want to buy at HDFC or Star or Care. You can directly go to their website, put in all your details, and then buy there. That's one option. Or the second option is, we have a lot of these aggregators, right, who actually get all of these things and then compare next to each other and give you all these parameters. So that's the second option where you can buy. So the ideal thing to do, you want to look at both of them, right? So what I did is, I actually went into the plans core websites where I wanted to buy the one or two plans that I really wanted to buy and got a quote from them. And then I also looked at these aggregators, right? So aggregators that we have in the market are Ditto, Policy Bazaar, Acco, so websites like these, right? So these are some of the websites. So all these aggregators, they basically also provide some more additional features. So basically what happens is these aggregators like Ditto, Policy Bazaar, Acco, what they say is they will also help us with the claim settlement. Like let's say you have a situation and you want to file the claims, then you don't know how to file, so you are actually stuck, right? In that case, they say that Ditto and all these companies actually help you do the claim filing. You see these in advertisements as well. Before the guy comes in, they're helping their claim is settled and all of that, right? So this is the additional add-on service they provide. There is no additional cost to this. The reason is they actually make money from the insurance premium. They take a cut from the insurance they buy, right? So that's why. So the best thing to do is call these companies, right? You will have to go through a lot of calls, right? But the idea is talk to each of them, right? Talk to Policy Bazaar, talk to Ditto, talk to Acco, all of these guys. Put in all your details and then let them suggest what their top two plans, because each of these providers have their own preferences. So when I went with Policy Bazaar, they were pushing for Care, right? When I went with Care or New Bupa, they were pushing. When I went with Ditto, they were pushing HDFC more, because it's totally based on their experience and their commissions. Maybe I don't know what happens in the background. So it's just that every policy provider has this aggregator has their own preference. So I would suggest call all of them, Ditto, Policy Bazaar, Acco, if there is another one, just talk to them as well. And then get an estimate or their suggestions by looking at whatever we covered in the previous video, right? What are the things like the 20 parameters that you want to look at, and then get a quote from that. So also there is another option called Beshak. There is a website called Beshak. Beshak is where they basically aggregate insurance agents. Let's say you have somebody running a small insurance agents. He can actually get enrolled there. He gets certified, and they put all of these as agents. Again, Beshak provides a platform. So I also talked to somebody in there. So they're not really associated with it. They're not company employees, but per se, but they're on the platform. It's a marketplace for insurance agents who are trained. They watch for that and all of that, they say, right? So that's also one, there's a different perspective, right? When I talk to them, I got a lot of good insights from them as well. So pick somebody there and also do that. That's Beshak, another one, right? So the fifth option, is actually look at a local insurance provider around you. If you know somebody, ask them what is the best quote they can give. And sometimes what happens is when this is somebody, when I talk to insurance, somebody financial advisor, what they say is, imagine you are in the in a hospital. Now somebody has to process the claim, somebody has to help you. How these companies are going to help you, all these ACO, all these Ditto and all of them. But if you have somebody next to you that in your network, they may be able to come, and because there is an emotional thing and that guy is around in the network and all. So it is an important angle that he put it into my mind, right? But I look at it in a different way because currently I'm around in 40s, right? I'm in 40s, right? So basically, the insurance guy selling should be younger to me or similar to me, to my age, and finding a good one in that age, because he should survive as long as I survive, because my needs of insurance will be when I turn older, right? If the guy doesn't exist, I bought policy from him, I keep running from him, then you are going to end up in trouble. So I said I'm going to believe in an organization and went with an organization who's going to help me with claims, right? So but it's a different perspective, right? So people prefer that because they there is a lot of goodwill that comes with taking from a local provider as well. So in short, right, you talk to all of these aggregators, the actual providers, and also your local person whom around with, and then put all of them in a piece of sheet and then compare them, who gives the best quote and what works for you better, right? End of the day, nobody will charge extra money. That's what when I did all the comparison. And once you spoke to all of them, then come up with a number and your top plans, right? One of the things I really also talk to people around you, right? I talk to some of the colleagues in the co-working space that I am around, right? So their experiences, I looked at their numbers, how much it is, and then I compared my numbers and how they looked at. So it is a lot of parameters they look at: your age, your family history, your health history, and all of that. So once you put all of this in a piece of paper, then you will know, and then you will basically pick that plan. So in my case, after all these exercise of more than a week or 10 days, I finalized to go with HDFC Ergo, their plan. I took about 1 crore health insurance plan as a family floater, because it had everything that I wanted, and I paid it's called some Optima Secure, right? And Super Secure. So I took a plan that is basically about 1 CR, but the advantage with that is when you pay your premium for all 3 years at one time, then you get 3x coverage. So I literally have 3x coverage for that, 3 CR coverage. That's what they say. I mean, my belief is, it's basically, even at least I have 1 CR. If they give, that's fine. The other one is we don't know, right? Because so the biggest litmus test for an insurance company or health insurance company is when a claim goes in, will they do it or not? So we don't know when that's the moment of truth, and it's very, very subjective, and you can't say based on one instance that this is good, that this is bad. It's very subjective, so can't really judge based on, but look at the overall metrics and look at all of these and who's going to provide the support. So I spoke to Ditto, and finally I went with Ditto because the way they approached, they didn't spam me, they didn't call me too many times. So I finally went with Ditto. I took their guidance. There are like 6-7 calls I did with them, and then they went through each of them, and then eventually I went with them and I purchased this plan. So apparently they have good experience, and again, backed by zero on all of that. So hopefully they stand up to their values, right? So that's my experience, folks. What has been your experience? Do share it in the comment section. Any inputs, any questions, please ask. Again, thank you for watching. Do subscribe for getting regular updates.